Hi, my name is Dominic Barrett, and today is a hot and sweaty day 39 of the Richmond Public Library's 100 Days RVA Reads, a program promoting PBS and WCVE's The Great American Read. Today, again on this hot and sweaty day, so bear with my sweat, I'm at Richmond's Hollywood Cemetery at the plot of Jefferson Davis. The book I've chosen is The Clan of the Cave Bear by Jean Auel. And we're here for a variety of reasons. I'm reading to Jeff Davis's ghost, and I'm reading to my 3-month-old daughter, and I'm reading to Patty Parks for a variety of reasons. In a city like Richmond, we have these massive monuments and impressive graves to hateful men who clung to power. And it's important, I think, that they hear and that our future generations, and particularly my daughter, my 3-month-old daughter's generation, hear and learn of alternatives and of those who spoke truth to power and of what that could look like in the future. And I think nonfiction and history books do a great job of sort of telling the story of our past and telling the story of wonderful, powerful people and women who came before them. And then fiction can do a really beautiful job of painting a picture of what can be and alternatives to the status quo and alternatives to what we may experience today or may experience in the past. And in some cases, those are the same thing. And so I think this book is a really interesting way to sort of look at that. It takes place like 30,000 years ago, but ultimately at its core is this race of men clinging to power and clinging to the past, and a young 5-year-old girl who sees an alternative and wants an alternative and looks for something different and knows there needs to be something different. And so though I hadn't read this book when I was invited to be a part of this program, I thought this would be a good program and a good book that could possibly fit with where I think books can be powerful and how books can be powerful. And I thought this location seemed like a possible fit for that as well. So I'm going to read a short excerpt from The Clan of the Cave Bear. Females were supposed to be docile, subservient, unpretentious, and humble. The domineering young man took it as a personal affront that she didn't cower a little when he came near. It threatened his masculinity. He watched her, trying to see what was different about her, and was quick to cuff just to see a fleeting look of fear in her eyes or to make her cringe. Ayla tried to respond properly, did everything he commanded as quickly as she could. She didn't know there was freedom in her step. An unconscious carryover from roaming the forests and fields, pride in her bearing from learning a difficult skill and doing it better than someone else, and a growing self-confidence in her mien. She didn't know why he picked on her more than anyone else. Brood didn't know himself why she annoyed him so much. It was indefinable, and she could no more have changed it than she could change the color of her eyes. Part of it was his memory of the attention she had usurped from him at his manhood rights, but the real problem was she was not clan. She had not had subservience bred into her from untold generations. She was one of the others, a newer, younger breed, more vital, more dynamic, not controlled by hidebound traditions from a brain that was nearly all memory. Her brain followed different paths. Her high forehead that housed forward-thinking frontal lobes gave her an understanding from a different view. She could accept the new, shape it to her will, forge it into ideas undreamed of by the clan, and in nature's way, her kind was destined to supplant the ancient dying race. At a deep, unconscious level, Broud sensed the opposing destinies of the two. Ayla was more than a threat to his masculinity. She was a threat to his existence. His hatred of her was the hatred of the old for the new, of the traditional for the innovative, of the dying for the living. Broud's race was too static, too unchanging. They had reached the peak of their development. There was no more room to grow. Ayla was part of nature's new experiment, and though she tried to model herself after the women of the clan, it was only an overlay, a facade only culture deep, assumed for the sake of survival. She was already finding ways around it in answer to a deep need that sought an avenue of expression. And though she tried in every way she could to please the overbearing young man, inwardly she began to rebel. Thank you for sticking with me there. All 100 books of The Great American Read are available at your local Richmond Public Library. Fun fact, the author of this book did a lot of her research on Cro-Magnons and Neanderthals at her local public library. To be a reader or to find out where the next reading is, visit rvalibrary.org/100days. Clicking on the map and the film icon on a day's listing will take you directly to our YouTube channel, Film for that day, where you'll find this and other videos. We invite you to join the Facebook group and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Richmond Public Library 100 Days. Richmond Public Library 100 Days, 100 days, 100 books, 100 places, 100 readers. Thank you to Patty Parks for making this happen, and the Richmond Public Library for being such a wonderful institution in our city. We are so lucky to have it. We are so lucky to have Patty, and we are so lucky to have this beautiful river which is behind us. So thank you all so much. Have a good one.